Well, dear Stephen, thank you for joining our program today. You are going to have this disclosure award held by the HKI CPA. Can you explain to our audience what is the theme this year?
Well, I think the overall objective is that we want to encourage and promote corporate governance in Hong Kong, and also we want to recognize companies who have done well in this aspect. In particular, this year we have focused on two things. One thing is for companies being first listed in Hong Kong, we are having a new award for those category of companies. Second thing is we are putting more emphasis on internal controls and risk management.
Well, the HKI CPA has held this disclosure competition for 8 or 9 years already. During this period of time, do you think the disclosure level in Hong Kong has improved?
It has definitely improved substantially. Indeed, I mean, there were surveys done by CLSA and the Asia Corporate Governance Organization, and they actually have ranked Hong Kong as #1 amongst 11 countries in Asia. And there was another survey done by Hong Kong Institute of Directors and another organization. They also were comparing 2002 and 2006, and there was also a marked improvement.
Well, there is a lot of critics saying that Hong Kong has not yet introduced quarterly reporting, while many advanced markets like the United States, Australia, or even China has adopted quarterly reporting for some years. Do you think Hong Kong is very lagged behind?
I wouldn't say it's lagged behind because each country has their different requirements. Even in the US, for example, if an overseas company going there for listing, they don't have to do mandatory quarterly reporting. It's entirely up to the management to decide. And in the UK, for example, they adopt a system where the management quarterly don't do a full reporting, but disclose what we call management information. Hong Kong ICPA's view is that instead of using so much resources and doing quarterly reporting, we would treat that as voluntary. But we rather would encourage the companies to disclose management information on a quarterly basis. And also, please be aware that whether it's quarterly reporting or quarterly management information is really in a 3-month period, whereas in between the 3-month period, there could be things happening which the investors would be interested to know. And therefore, we very much encourage companies to disclose any major transactions, or significant transactions, or any price-sensitive information anytime, as and when this happens.
As you were former boss of Media Partners, actually it was a German company and is also doing quarterly reporting. Do you feel any difficulty to achieve that purpose?
I think especially when we were first trying to do quarterly reporting, that was quite difficult, mainly because we had to run in the practice of doing this every 3 months. For example, I had a financial controller who was helping me, and most of the time, I mean, in sort of every 3 months period, she's actually very, very much busy on quarterly reporting. So that actually is really a drain on resources. Although we did manage to produce quality information, but given that we have spent so much time, I think it would be better if it's up to us to have the option whether to decide to do that or not.
Mm-hmm. Well, from this experience as a former boss of Media Partner, do you think corporate governance can really help to achieve a better bottom line for your company?
It certainly does. For example, when our company was doing outdoor advertising, there were good times and bad times. Bad times was when SARS actually took place in China, and some of our buses were actually could not be operational, and we had to compensate for our customers, etc. And our internal control and risk management helped us to identify what were the weak areas and how to improve as we recover from SARS. And so I think corporate governance is very important because this is not really a disclosure thing, but it's something that whether big companies or small companies must practice so that they can improve themselves, even not in the near term, but on the medium and long term.
Mm-hmm. So after sold out your stake in Media Partner, what are you busy with these days?
I'm in the business of private equity, and nowadays I look for companies which we after we acquire a minority or majority stake, then if the first thing that I would do is actually come in and make sure they got good CFO, they got good corporate governance, good internal controls. So everything that I've learned in the past is now putting also in practice.
So you're on the other side of the table?
But the theory is actually the same.
Okay, thank you very much for joining our program today.
Thank you so much.